What's up, everybody? What's up? As I told y'all last week, I was gonna be consistent in this Stack Money Sundays, man. I told y'all I was gonna be doing the Stack Money Sundays. So as promised, here I'm giving y'all the Stack Money Sundays. Where we come in, man, we talk about how to earn extra money, how to get your weight up, get your capital up, how to get everything back flowing. Um, so the number one thing is, man, this week, if y'all ain't see, they took Donald Trump, they indicted him, arraigned him, took him to court. I think that was on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. So just know that the market is getting ready to change. The financial landscape of the country is getting ready to change because with that move, the Democrats have pretty much ensured that they won't be getting reelected. I don't think that Kamala Harris has proven to be a strong vice president. Um, so they're weak on that front, but also they are also weak on the front of Joe Biden. That war with Russia and the Ukraine is killing off the American market, and it don't matter what your political beliefs are. Nobody wants to be broke, and the Democrats are basically keeping folks broke because, excuse me, they keeping the people broke. Man, shit. The trucking industry is down. The car industry is down. Uh, finance industry is up in smokes. The banks are trying to maintain, but it's hard to sell loans when you got a 9% interest. You got 9% inflation. So the Feds have set the interest rate at damn near 5% or I think it's like 7%. Some crazy ass number is what the prime rate is. Excuse me. So you already know if the prime rate is high, then also when you go and borrowing money is going to be expensive as well. So that completely fucks up the whole economy. Number one. Number two is in terms of building. Um, I want to set the record straight, man, on a lot of things that are going on in the industry because I had somebody call me last night, and when they called me, they were like, "Hey, Trent, look, I got me a NAV account, and I'm trying to get my business credit up and build my business credit. I got some net 30s and all this." And man, all of this like LLC, YouTube shit, this YouTube getting around the system, dude. The banks are too sophisticated for that. They too smart for that, and you have to have something to get something. In the United States, you have to realize how the currency system started. At first, we were on a bartering system. After the bartering system, we went from the bartering system over to paper currency because, pretty much the bartering system was if somebody had three chickens and you had one cow, it's like, well, damn, I want some chickens. So you would trade three chickens for that one cow. But they found out that you could not have a sustainable economy without having a need for need, right? Or you can't sustain the economy based on a sporadic needs. So that's how money got invented. But the concept behind money is you get something for something of equal value. And that's the way that the banks operate. If you want to go into the bank and get a $450,000 loan, You need to have something that's probably worth 600,000 or 700,000. That way, when you go into the bank to get the loan, they look at you and say, okay, well, this person could liquidate and pay us back, so this is a good deal. People start off with nothing and think that they're going to come into the bank and get a couple $1 million. And unfortunately, it just don't work like that at all. In order for you to get something, get whatever it is that you feel like you need or you desire, you have to put yourself in a financial situation to where you are deserving of getting what it is that you feel like you're going to need. All right. You can't just start off with nothing and then say, hey, yeah, man, I want somebody to give me 350,000 unsecured. It don't work like that. All of these little channels and stuff like that where they tell you, hey, I can get you past I can show you how to build up your business credit, and I can show you how to get you an LLC. Well, first off, the first thing you need to know is, do I actually need an LLC, right? Do I have anything that I stand to lose on should something go bad? Do I personally stand to lose something? Like, if you are somebody you a snow cone vendor and you're selling snow cones, what type of liabilities do you have? Somebody buy a snow cone, and worst case scenario, they buy this snow cone. They say, oh, well, the ice melted too fast, so it was too watery, it was too sugary, it didn't taste good. All right, nobody, it's gonna cost you more in court filing fees than for somebody to just sue you over a bad experience with a snow cone. Versus, if you handling 18 wheeler trucks or something like that, and your business goes bad, then hey, you have a trailer that jackknife off of a car, you could flip and hit into a ditch. You gotta have insurance to protect the freight and everything that you're carrying. So you have a lot of liabilities and a lot of possibilities for things to potentially go bad in that business. So before you get into the LLC thing, you first need to understand, what is the liability of what it is that I'm intending to do. And if you have a small liabilities, then you might just be better off doing a sole proprietorship or a self corporation. The second thing is when it comes to building out your business, do you have a solid business plan? Have you went on liveplan.com and developed your business plan? What's your strategy? Do you know who's your competition? Okay, what type of money does your competition make? If you are going into a business, and let's just say that you want to start up a hardware store. Well, you would not compare yourself to Home Depot or Lowe's. They're too big of a hardware store. You would compare yourself to a True Value or a neighborhood hardware store where it's basically homegrown, it's locally owned and operated, and you have the potential to make some good ends, right? You got potential to make some good ends. So those are the things that you really want to look at in terms of, okay, hey, I'm going to start me a business and I need a comparison. All right, then, there are websites out there where you can look and see how many employees they report themselves as having. Then after you look at how many employees they report themselves as having, then you ask yourself, okay, well, they report themselves as having 7 employees or 13 employees or whatever. You look at their revenue. What's their revenue share? You know, what do I stand to make going into this business endeavor? Should I do this myself? Then you use that as a case study for what it is that you anticipate yourself being able to do. All right. Once you have your numbers and everything kind of worked out for what you believe that you could do, then you have some type of working knowledge. All right. So you might say, I want to pay myself a salary of $80,000 a year. Well, okay, if you pay yourself a salary of $80,000 a year, then hey, you could do it like that. You could get owner's draws. Owner's draws is when you don't per se pay yourself a salary, but every month you cut yourself a check, and the check says, hey, you write yourself a check, say owner's draws, and that owner's draws could be 20,000, it could be 30,000, it could be 50 to 100,000. It just depends on what you want to do. But that's how you go out and you make yourself some money. Now, in depending on what strategy, what end of the business you want to be in, how much you're trying to make, then you really got to understand the terms of business, the terms of mathematics. When I talked to somebody, yesterday, they said, "Hey, I want to make 15,000 a month." Okay, that's basically what they wanted to keep. So when we did the numbers and we checked the statistics behind it, when I was talking to this person, I'm like, okay, 15,000 a month. So it's like, all right, well, you need to be dealing with $250,000 of money in order to be able to collect and take home 250 grand. I'm sorry, 15,000 a month, right? In business, most of the time, once you get finished paying your bills, your overhead, everything else, you're left with about 6 to 13% of the money that you have grossed, and that's what your retained earnings are. All right. Now, when you're looking at how to capitalize yourself, one of the things people don't understand is a personal financial statement. All right. Now, if you are living someplace and you have been renting for years, to me, I'm a tad bit different than Grant Cardone and Vlad from Vlad TV. They're like, oh no, I would never own a property. That's blah 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 blah. That's some of the worst fucking advice ever. It's some of the worst advice ever, and that's information coming from white men who have different set asides, different opportunities, and different private backings and fundings that they could get versus talking to an audience like mine who is predominantly African American. And even if you've been to school, you've been to college for these things, we don't get to go to the Wharton School of Business or the Harvard School of Business or any of these highly taught schools of business, Cal, USC, UCLA. We don't get to go to business school like that. We understand economics, but we don't really understand economics in this country. How to build credit, how to leverage your credit. Building and leveraging credit is the name of the game in the United States. I need to have more income than what I got going out, than expenses. All right. Well, how do you get to that point? What what are the steps? What do you do? These are all the questions that, hey, we need to know. All right, well, the way that you build your credit is very simple. Pay all your bills on time. Pay all your bills on time. Now, folks say you need to use 1 to 3 to 4% of your credit and all of that. That's bullshit. You know, every now and then, you go and buy you a candy bar and then pay the shit right off. You feel me? You go buy you a candy bar or something and you pay it off. And that's just because when you dealing with these credit card companies, they want you to be in debt. Okay. So if you don't use your credit cards, they'll cut them off for non-activity, right? So you go out, you get something cheap, and then you pay it right off. Now, a lot of folks say, well, hey, you should be using your credit cards. That's how you build up points. That's how you get free airfare miles and all of that. And that's cool, just depending on what your strategy is. Everybody has a different methodology and strategy. All right, you could go and get a line of credit from PayPal and buy you a plane ticket off a line of credit from PayPal. Or you could go and get you the Delta Rewards card. It's an American Express card, but you can do American Express or any of these. But the number one building block of credit is your payment history. But more important than your payment history, they want to see that you have constantly made payments all the time, on time, towards one big goal. Paying a house does that for you. So the biggest thing that you need to look at is, how do I get a good track history of paying off an installment loan? But I want to be able to show I have paid off 40% of this installment loan. Okay. So there's all types of strategies and methodologies to do it. One of the biggest things is that the the credit bureaus use this system called eOscar. And when you try to go and get you an eOscar account, you have to have 100 accounts to report. All right. So there's no way really for you to really beat the system unless you are plugged in to the system. But in such a case, once you plug into the system, you don't really need to build your credit, because since you're part of the system, you already know the tricks, right? Now, purchasing a house, if you never bought a house, there are all type of first-time home buyers credits. And remember, you're not purchasing a house per se to be in the house. If you don't want to be in the house, you don't have to be in the house. But you're purchasing a house to show, listen, I can go out here, I can get this loan, I can pay for it. Now, a house is going to pay for itself as long as you do the right things surrounding it. Okay. Now, this very simple strategy I'll run down to you. A lot of people say, hey, I want to do rental property. Well, having rental property is in my opinion, it's really some of the worst shit that you could do. And here's why. Rental property only works if you have lived in a property, you were gifted the property, or you you got the property. Let's just say you bought a property that was $80,000, and now this house is worth $300,000. Well, you can rent it out at the $300,000 rate and not the $80,000 rate that you got on your mortgage. Other than that, rental property is not worth your time. All right, because one, you got to deal with the tenants. You got to basically tenant proof your house, right? In the car industry, you know, in diesel mechanics, we call this bulletproofing. But in the rental property industry, they call it tenant proofing. So you have to tenant proof your house. And what tenant proofing is when say I got a house and I say I want to turn this into a rental property. I need to change out all of the plumbing and piping in there. I need to change out the refrigerator, the microwaves, the furnace, and the AC unit. I need to take all of that out. If you have to redo some of the HVAC ducts, possibly, but you need to go in and make sure all your plumbing and all of that stuff, any cracks in the foundation, you want to make sure that you already have that stuff taken care of prior to even renting a house out. Because what happens is when your tenant come in, your tenant, they are going to fuck your shit up. Like, that's just the way of the world. It comes along with the property game. It just comes along with it. So you need to make sure that you're going into it realizing that. Now, next thing is what area are you purchasing property in? One of the major things out here in St. Louis is, man, where the area where I'm from. I'm from the north side in North County. North County has gone down to where, you know, hey, we used to have 7 grocery stores. Now it's one family who basically bought up some of the other grocery store chains, and they are the only ones with grocery stores outside of like your little knockoff shit, the little ruler foods and stuff like that. But the major grocery stores, they're all gone. You know, you got Snooks out here, and we have Walmart supercenters. So you got those things, but a lot of the major industry in the area has picked up and left. And so if you don't have a Target close to you or a Starbucks close to you, you know, I'm talking about really within within a reasonable walking distance, then you are probably in one of the wrong areas. And by walking distance, I mean that if on a day like today, on a Sunday, if you say, you know what, I want to go for a morning walk and go get a cup of coffee, can you walk to it within 3 to 4 miles or less? You know, if you just say, look, I want to get me some exercise in. Let me go and work out. You know, hey, let me go get my let me go get my heart rate up. You know what I'm saying? Start dropping off pounds, things like that. Can you go to where you need to go to within? Is it, you know? Can I walk there? Can I jog there? Can I ride a bike there? You know, and not be too far out the way. That's that's the major thing. If you're not around a Target or a Starbucks, you know, hell, I even say a Dunkin' Donuts. If you don't have a Target, a Starbucks, or a Dunkin' Donuts within walking distance of it, then you know I would say you don't do it. You don't buy a house over there. You're going to fail. The next thing is what is the projections? You know, what's the projections for the neighborhood, right? Is the neighborhood going to be going up? Is it going to be going down? Um, what what do they project, right? Now, if you go on Zillow, they say that Zillow has its flaws, as such as everything in life, right? It's upsides and it's downsides to everything in life, right? So pretty much, okay, yeah. So pretty much, you have to look at everything in life, right? Zillow has its shortcomings, but one thing Zillow is good about is Zillow is good at telling you what the market is going to change to. So you might buy you a house, right? And the market might say, hey, this is going to go up, and the market is going to go up in uh, basically 18 months, right? The market is gonna go up in 18 months. So when the market goes up in those 18 months, then I'm sorry, the market is going to fluctuate by 18.6% in the next in the next 2 years. Well, that 18.6%, remember that your mortgage premium, especially if you're FHA, is going to change, because where when you bought that house, you were being taxed on a, let's just call it, $80,000 house. Well, if the property values and shot up, now you're getting taxed on a $300,000 house. So you have to factor all of that stuff in when you are looking at rental property purchasing and all of that. Your rent gonna go up, so on and so forth. So that's for rental property. A lot of folks, they are into the trucking industry, but it depends on what type of trucking you want to do, right? Now, if you are doing like local trucking where everything is within the city, you're not affected. But there are, if you go and look at the advertising boards and all of that, and you check them out, a lot of the over the road truck drivers, man, they are complaining. They saying that they hurting right now because it's only so much freight. Their fuel prices are high. Brokers don't want to pay nothing. Inflation is cutting everything off. The price of eggs through the fucking roof. So that hurts you too. That hurts you as well. What is it that you want to do? That's the question of the day. What do you want to do? Do I want to be a pharmacist? Do I want to be a gardener? Do I want to be a game show host? Do I want to own me a computer store? Do I want to be a flight planner, a wedding events planner? Those are the major things, right? And then once you determine kind of what you want to do, then you have to go out and execute that. You know, you really have to go out and execute what it is that you say that you want to do. A lot of folks, they don't have plans to actually execute this. Everything that you could do as a person, it has been done before. What is your take on it? Is it the fact that, hey, I know somebody, I got an inside scoop, or anything, right? People ask me questions all the time, like, Trent, so what you think about the stock market? My thoughts on the stock market is this. The stock market is a game that you don't really play unless you got insider trading and shit. It's really a game that you don't play unless you have insider trading. And if you read the books of Robert Kiyosaki, Peter Lynch, any of these Wall Street gurus, um, you really don't play it. Like, what's his name? Jeffrey Epstein, who got caught taking the girls to the island and having sex with the underage girls on them islands. Epstein became a multi-billionaire by basically cheating the stock market, right? So it's crazy how they treat white criminals and black criminals. But he became a billionaire off of cheating the stock market. Now when you talk about the Warren Buffetts, yeah, okay, they have enough money to make money on the stock market. They have enough to make money on the stock market, right? But uh, the average company They ain't got average person doing business, man, you ain't got enough money to really stack your chips on the stock market. Even in day trading and all that shit, you gonna end up taking a loss. And that's just the way that it goes. So, how do you want to make extra money? What's going on, Larry? What's going on? How do you want to make extra money? I'm gonna call you as soon as I get off of here. How do you want to make your extra money? How do you want to really level up and stack your damn chips? What is it that you want to do? If you want to go into the housing game, the multi-S side gig, regular job. There you go. So there you go. You could do all types of shit. You could go and get an app design, invest into insurance, lend against some insurance. Well, I don't know. Is you talking about like life insurance, or are you talking about all of that stuff? Because when you get into insurance investing, the problem with insurance investing is, if I go out and I get $1 million life insurance policy with an actual cash value, they only gonna let me pull out the money that I put back into it. So that's you want something that's gonna increase in value, because it's a guy out here. He wrote with Myron Golden. I forgot what the dude's name is, but he always brags about having a mansion down in Atlanta with a Lamborghini and all of that. And talks about how much money he made investing into insurance. But when I checked into it, it ain't check out life insurance or start a company, trucking, get bank statement loan. And that's the major one, the one that you're talking about right there. Because for me, really one of the biggest, I'll give folks a hack, right? One of the biggest fucking things you could do is hook up with somebody who got a dealer's license, man. Hook up with somebody who got a dealer's license, right? And you know what I'm saying? Look, when you get with somebody who got a dealer's license, you could go to IAA, go to Copart, go to these salvage auctions. You could buy you a completely salvaged car that's fucked up, fucked up. When you buy you a car that's fucked up, just make sure it got a clear title, right? Go and get this car with this clear title that's fucked up, because you can get that shit for pennies on a dollar. I'll go out and buy me a 2023 Challenger that's been burnt up. And let's just say I bought it burnt up, but it still got a clean and clear title. Well, I can buy 6 of these. All right. Buy 6 of these. Then once you go and get those, once you get that title, you can go to a bank and say, look, I need a loan for $250,000. And look, I got a fleet of cars that I can put up against, and you can have 20, you can have 20 fucking cars. 20 cars. Bankers, they know about banking. They don't know about cars and all that shit. That ain't what they do. You feel me? So, you can go out and get you some salvage title cars, man. Or some cars with a clean and clear title, but they have diminishing value because of of the condition that they are in. And put those up as collateral to go and get you some money. Hell nah, bro. You never do a floor plan. you never get a floor plan. And the reason you don't get a floor plan is because floor plans are set up on 120-day increments, right? But when you look at the industry codes, the NAICS industry standards, The floor plan is set up on 120 days, but industry standards is cars, it takes you 124 days, 124, 129 days to sell a car. So when you get a floor plan, you have accrued, let's just say you got decent credit. You might accrue $1 a day in interest on that car. So if you kept it for 124 days or something like that, you have accrued $1 in interest on that car per day. So that's $124. They probably charge you $300-400, just to put the car on the floor plan. Even if they charge you $200, you already at $300, right? Or $350. The profit margins in the car industry is only 12%. So if the profit margin is 12%, which is a slim profit margin, that means, off of a $12,000 car, you only making $1,200. So if I'm paying you $900 out of, what I'm saying? If I'm paying you $500 out of my $1,200, I ain't got no money for me, So, I don't fuck with the floor plans, because the reality of it is that, they talk this business shit like, oh, get your business loan, get your personal, blah, 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 all this and all that. But the reality of it is that you got to personally guarantee shit anyway when you're in business. So you go on Freedom Financial or Achieve Loans, go to LendingTree.org, like if you really want to be straight up from the ground with it, you can go on any of these like websites and get you a personal loan. You can get you a personal loan for $100,000 with no collateral. Your interest rate on that $100,000 might be, what's going on, darling? Your interest rate on $100,000, let's just say it's gonna be, even if you're paying 24%, if I gotta pay back 24% over 5 or 7 years, what am I paying? I'm paying maybe $1,400-1,500 a month or something like that. But when I go and get a floor plan, I gotta pay a 10% curtailment on these cars every 30 to 45 days. So, man, that NAV stuff, all that stuff, man, that stuff don't work, man. When you going into the bank, bro, man, they want to know who's gonna personally guarantee that loan, man. Because what that NAV and all of that stuff does, all of that stuff is for that's for when you want to deal with like these fintech companies and all of that. But that shit don't work. When you look at that Silicon Valley Bank that just collapsed, that's those banks that lend money out to them people who NAV try to hook you up with, and it's like it don't work. If you try to stay in business, you need to go get the most money for the cheapest interest rate possible. So the way you really only gonna find that by dealing with a bank that got billions and trillions of dollars to deal with. When you working with these little NAV companies and stuff like that, man, them motherfuckers, they don't have enough money to lose 50 million and still rebound. You want to go and get with a real banker, man. But two, inside of every major city, you got branch banks, and then you got the headquarters. You want to go to the headquarters because that's where the real money people are at. You go out to these bank branches and stuff like that. These people are job niggas. They not gonna understand what you're trying to tell them as a business owner. They don't understand business. It's just a person with a job. So somebody who's been in business before, they gonna understand it. Like out here, we got a bank, you know, something called the Bank of Springfield, and that's what you want to look at. Look at them vice presidents and those senior vice presidents. Look at who's on the board, and if you can find you a vice president who they own a board, you know, they own a business before. Like out here, it's a guy named Marty McKay, right? And he's like the vice president of Bank of Springfield. This is a bank over here in Clayton, right next to U City. That's where Nelly from. Now, Marty McKay used to own he used to own, you know, coding, a place called Coding Ford, right? He used to own the Ford dealership. Well, he sold it to a guy named George Weber. Now it's Weber Ford, but he used to own it, and this was a big ass store. You know, they probably had a $250 million floor plan or line of credit. You know, not floor plan, but a $250 million line of credit. So when I go over to him, I can get some shit done. He's real easy to work with. You know, we got another bank here called Commercial Bank. I walk into Commercial Bank, like, man, my partner, you know, I used to do business with this guy named Ron Moore. And Ron got like, I think he got like a $500,000 like business line of credit that renew every year. And that shit is only, he didn't have to put up anything that he personally owned. That nigga's line of credit is secured against his inventory. That nigga got junk cars sitting around that motherfucker where you like, damn, Ron, you know, you still got this bullshit, bro. But long story short, it all is based off of what your line of credit is, what's your business strategy. And then two, when folks are trying to go into business, too many people be trying to go into business as an individual when you need to have a board of directors of people who actually have been in business before and know what they doing. You know, like you need folks who really know what they doing, because you might have the right idea, but the wrong execution, you know, and that's the thing. Like for me, when I came into it, I had a car. I got two car dealerships, but the car sales is too up and down. You high right now, you slow right now, whatever else. So I just said, fuck it. I went and bought me a tow truck to get rid of all of that up and all that shit. Because one thing I know is people shit gonna break down. People shit gonna break down all the time, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. And I know 100 motherfuckers in the hood who got junk cars sitting in their driveway. Anybody who got like anybody who got a ranch style house, they got like a 4-car driveway. Man, everybody who I know who got at least 2 junk cars sitting in the driveway. Well, you know, if I'm selling cars, man, if I sell a $12,000 car and the profit margin is only $1,200, you know, I'm hustling fucking backwards sometimes, because listen, if I go out here, I go and pull 2 or 3 junk cars, man, by the time I cut the catalytic converters off that motherfucker, I can cut the cats off the bitch, take the tires off that motherfucker. I could run that bitch through the auction. You know what I'm saying? I put a $500 reserve on her. I can make anywhere from $400 to $800 off of busting that car down. Then if it's some high shit, something like somebody want, like a Challenger or something, I can just put a parts listing on that motherfucker. I sell the hood, park that bitch out, man. I could have been made, you know, 15 grand off of a car I basically got for free. $200-300. So, you know, that's it, man. And you know, you have to look at it like, all right, each thing builds on top of each other. So most people don't know nothing about the business development life cycle, where you start off with seeding, then you grow to a startup, then from a startup, then you get to you get to your growth phase. Then you start maintaining, right? This is around your 10-year mark. Then you can start franchising, you can expand however you want to do. But that's it, man. You have to know how to do it, right? Most folks don't know how to go and get a business funded. They really don't. You got a lot of folks, man. Like, if you really want, making money in America is so fucking easy. It's so easy. Like, I'm saying, it ain't that many people in here, so it ain't like we're gonna be giving up. It's enough niggas in here to fuck the game up for everybody. So listen to this. If you want to make some easy money, you want to make some easy money tomorrow. Like, listen, all you gotta do is go down to the city hall, right, and talk to the county assessor. All right, ask them, do y'all got any properties y'all trying to get rid of, or the city's willing to sell on back taxes? These cities, they don't want these fucking properties. The reason why is a vacant property is a property that you can't charge nobody taxes on. So the cities will sell you some of these properties for a little bit of nothing. Like, they'll give you a list because they want tenants in there. So, you can go and get you a property, man, for a little bit of nothing for back taxes, man. Anybody who got a 401k, man, you look, I bought me a property on back taxes. If it costs you 5, 6, 8 grand, so what? You can go and get a payday loan for that shit. You could really go and get a payday loan for that shit. Get you a car, get you a little loan, go and buy you a crib on back taxes. Get your cousin them. Everybody know a bullshit rinky dink handyman. Get you a nigga who know how to put a modern looking bathroom in a place and a modern looking kitchen. That's all that you really need. If the kitchen and the bathroom look modern, it don't matter what the fuck the rest of the house look like. That motherfucker's gonna sell. You go to Home Depot, get you some Burr paint. BEHR. Burr. Don't get Glidden. Don't get none of that other shit, because the reason you getting Burr is a thick ass paint. All right. You see these walls behind me? All right. All of this shit is Burr paint. All right. When I rebuilt this house, right, you see this? I did that shit with Burr paint. All right. Now, you can't, when you look at the ceiling, look at that. You can't even tell. It's all type of smoke damage and shit up on that ceiling. I came in with some kills in 2 days. Came back, got me some rollers. Got me some rollers. You can't even tell, man. It was all type of soot and all that shit. Spray that bitch down with some bleach. All right. If it got mold, something like that, that's what, you spray that motherfucker down with some bleach, put that Kills over it, because Kills is going to kill that mildew and all that smoke damage, that soot smell. You get rid of that shit. Come in, man. You take care of what you got to take care of. You put that shit up on the Section 8 website. You could be into this house, man, charging somebody $900 a month on rent. The game is that simple. The game is that simple, man. This other shit that they be talking about is bullshit. You really want to make you some paper, just go down to the city. Tell the city, man, look, I was coming over here to see if it's any properties that the city had that they were looking for investors for, or You know, they was looking to get, they got any properties that are basically vacant because of back taxes and all of that stuff, man. It's real easy, man. You can, hell, a lot of this shit, to be honest with you, if you got some somewhat decent credit, somewhat decent credit, go and get you a Home Depot credit card. Go get you a Home Depot credit card, man. Listen, if you need some work done, man, Home Depot, not only do they got the materials, but they got the people to do it for you too. And you can put all of this shit on the Home Depot credit card. You could go get a property from the city for a little bit of nothing. Because listen, it's always gonna be some dumbass bitch who done got pregnant by a nigga that don't really fuck with her. And she gonna be out here stranded. And she gonna need a place to go and stay. And you, my friend, need to make money off of that dumb ass person. Okay? People fuck with people all the time that don't fuck with them. And if you got Section 8 property, you just gotta do minimum work. Minimum work to make it look presentable. And guess what? You could be getting a motherfucking Social Security check. I'm sorry, not Social Security check, but you could be getting a Section 8 check. Just like that. Just like that. Every month. Every month. But I wouldn't suggest that somebody goes out and actually buy a property, you know, and say, look, I'm trying to buy this property, you know, and then make me some passive income and all of this shit. Like, no. It don't work like that. But if you go and get you a property for free, then that's when those are good ideas, man. Okay? That's when that shit is like a good idea, man. But it's all about knowing how to leverage what you got to get to what you want. Like they say in the Players Club, you got to get, you know, listen, you got to use what you got to get what you want. Okay? That shit is real. All right? That's that real deal Holyfield. But you know, hey, we've been on here almost an hour. Shit, I'm taking questions now. Anybody got any questions? Any, you know, thoughts, concerns, opinions, you know, anything that y'all want to talk about? We missed some butterfly nest and stuff. She the one who told me do these Sundays. Any thoughts, opinions, questions, Courtney Love, Darlene, other two people who in the bushes and stuff like that? Y'all got any questions? Any questions by anybody? No questions. No questions, no concerns. Going once, going twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, no questions. All right, well, listen, that was my show for today. I kept it up on that hour. You know, I think those few of y'all who tuned in, I thank y'all for tuning in, man. I'll scream at y'all next time. Bye.